Matt Hancock has announced that these additional measures will now apply to those two new areas that you mentioned, Greater Manchester and Lancashire County Council. They join a host of other areas, including Bolton, actually, that Matt Hancock singled out as an area where these additional measures have actually been working well to control the spread of the Delta variant. The origin, of course, was India for that particular type. And it's something that the government has been worried about as we talk about relaxing more, opening things up in the next couple of weeks, the spread of this variant and increasing numbers of cases. So what does this mean for people living in those areas? Well, it means that they will be asked to minimise travel in and out of where they live and work. Now, that applies, as I said, to Bolton and a number of other areas at the moment. Also, people are being asked to socialise outside if possible, not inside. Of course, the legislation has been relaxed, the restrictions have been relaxed, so people can meet now indoors, but people in those particular areas are being advised that to try and control the spread, they should be meeting outside where possible to keep 2 metres apart. Now, the government will give some extra money. There will be surge testing. There'll be testing inside schools, the Health Secretary said. And of course, he urged people to continue getting their vaccinations. That, of course, is the way that the spread of this variant and COVID in general is going to be controlled. So the fact that the government has moved 2 new, pretty big areas into these additional measures just shows you that they really are trying to do everything they possibly can to avoid the spread of this variant. But what it will do is prompt some questions, some difficult questions for ministers about local lockdowns, something that they've always said they want to avoid. They want to have everybody in the country coming out of restrictions at the same time. Well, clearly now that doesn't necessarily apply in these areas.
All right, Kate, many thanks indeed for now. We can, in fact, bring you what the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, had to say about this extra testing.
Today, working with local authorities, we are providing a strengthened package of support based on what's working in Bolton to help Greater Manchester and Lancashire tackle the rise in the Delta variant that we're seeing there. This includes rapid response teams, putting in extra testing, military support and supervised in-school testing. I want to encourage everyone in Manchester and Lancashire to get the tests on offer. We know that this approach can work. We've seen it work in South London and in Bolton in stopping a rise in the number of cases. This is the next stage of tackling the pandemic in Manchester and in Lancashire. And of course, it's vital that people in these areas, as everywhere else, come forward and get the jab as soon as they're eligible, because that is our way out of this pandemic together.